So we're just waiting for everyone to join. Give it a couple of minutes. Hold tight. Lunchtime, so I'm assuming we're competing with sandwiches.
You're kicking out. You kick out my Loom note taker.
No, I accepted it. All right. We'll just give it a couple more minutes as we wait for our attendees to join. Welcome to the session, Laura. Welcome, Dex, Hayes, Midge, Soji, Eddie. Welcome to the session. Just got a few more attendees joining us today, so hold tight. Welcome, Kate. Good to see you here. All right, we'll just give it an extra minute and then we'll kick off, and those arriving late will join a little bit late to the party. Hi, Amy. Good to see you here. Welcome. Welcome, Piyush. Thanks for joining us. We're just waiting another few seconds and then we're kickstarting today's session. Right, so I think we'll get started. Assuming everyone can hear me well. I see my colleagues waving at me, so that's a good sign. So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. For those of you joining us again, it's wonderful to have you here. And for those of you that are new to our sessions, welcome to the community. So my name is Anissa, and I have the privilege of serving as the Chief Marketing and Wellness Officer here at Zhamatix, which is a digital transformation agency based out of Perth. As Zhamatix, we believe that productivity isn't just about doing more, it's about doing what truly matters with ease. So through work management tools like Asana, which we'll be diving into today, we empower teams to reduce friction and cultivate a sense of calm in the way that they work. So as some of you know, a few weeks ago, we hosted an Asana Foundation session where we explored the essentials, and today we'll be taking things a notch further and going way beyond the surface. We'll explore how to make Asana truly work for you by leveraging Asana's AI capabilities, advanced features, and strategic design principles that drive alignment across teams and projects. Now, before we begin, just a few quick reminders. Your microphones and cameras are turned off for the session, but if you have any questions throughout, please drop them in the Q&A panel, which we will be monitoring throughout, and we'll be holding space for these questions towards the end. And yes, this session is being recorded today, so you can revisit the content whenever you need. Now, it's an honor to have you here for this next step in your Asana journey, and with that, that, it's my absolute pleasure to hand over to our CEO here at Zhamatix, who's also one of Australia's top Asana ambassadors, Mr. Eddie Zhang. Eddie, the stage is all yours.
Thank you very much, Anissa. Good morning, good afternoon, and evening to everyone who's joined us today. I can see some familiar faces from our previous webinar. Thank you for coming back. And if you want to introduce yourself by dropping your name and the city you're joining from in the chat, feel free to go ahead and do that. So our webinar for today is targeted for intermediate, advanced, or even power users of Asana. And today's focus is on how to leverage the AI-powered features in Asana. For some of you, it might be a refresher. For others, you might have only been using basic features and have not, realized the incredible, powerful features that are available to you. I only have less than 8 slides today, so if you can bear with me, I can take you through to explain the different types of Asana AI features, and thereafter we can dive into the demo and see it all in action. As I'm presenting, like Anissa has said, don't forget you can post your questions in the Q&A chat, and we'll aim to answer them during the last section of this webinar. Okay, let's jump in, and I'll start by sharing my screen. Okie dokie. Alrighty. All right, so today is deep diving with Asana and looking at the Asana features, AI features. And I guess, it's very important to know what are the Asana AI features that's available on your paid plans. Now, there are 3 main capabilities of Asana AI. One of them is what we call Smart Assist, and it helps you to surface insights from tasks, projects, and portfolios, as well as to help with editing. The second one is Smart Workflow Gallery. So you might know this as templates, but Workflow Gallery is what it's called now, and it allows to boost your teams with pre-built workflows, including AI-powered rules. Last but not least, there is Asana AI Studio. It allows you to design no-code AI-powered workflows that helps to take your automation to the next level. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a very quick look at what each of these entail, and then we can deep dive into the demo itself. Alrighty, so, I forgot to add the 4th AI feature that is coming very, very shortly this quarter or at the end of this year is the concept of AI teammates. So Asana AI teammates is going to be, I guess, what you know as agentic AI. And it'll be released to the general public at some stage this year and allows you to create agents that you can actually assign work to, just like a human. If you want to find out more about the Asana AI agents and how that might work, I will drop in a webinar in the chat, like right now. And feel free to register. There's a few options. There's APAC friendly one, Middle East friendly one, and US friendly one. So depending on where you are, feel free to join them. Okay. All right. Now let's look at, I guess, just very quick recap of Asana AI Teammate. AI Teammate allows you to create an actual teammate and assign work to them. And really, these are the different types of teammates that you have access to at the end of this year. So you might have creative, you might have a strategic planner, you might have an investigator or content strategist or spec reviewer. So these are just some of the AI teammates that's going to be released soon. And yes, like I said, jump on the webinar to learn more about them, and hopefully you'll find some great use out of them. Okay. Now let's talk about one of the features of or capabilities of Asana AI, which is what we call Asana Smart Assist. So what is Asana Smart Assist? Asana Smart Assist consists of a number of AI features such as Smart Chat, Smart Projects, Smart Fields, and Smart Editor. You can find this in various parts of Asana by simply locating the sparkles icon. So we sometimes call this Mr. Sparkles or Miss Sparkles or Mr. Sparkles, and you'll find this icon kind of littered throughout Asana. And when you see that icon, it means that you are leveraging, Asana AI, or what we call Asana Assist. Okay. One thing to take note of, Smart Assist, when you use these features, they do not consume tokens. Only AI Studio rules do. So don't be afraid to, keep trying it and keep using it. All right. And some of the things that you can do is, using AI to give you some suggestions on smart custom fields, how you can use AI to create projects, and also use AI to refine your content or your copy, okay? Which I'll show you in the demo, of course. All right. And obviously, you can get Asana AI or Assist to surface some insights on tasks, your priorities, your projects or portfolios, just to make sure that you are focusing on what the things that matter to you. All right, so what is the next one? The next one is what we call the Asana Smart Workflow Gallery. These are ready to deploy workflows for any teams, be it IT, operations, PMO or marketing teams. You might know these as templates in the past, but now they're called Workflow Gallery. And all of you should have access to this when you create a project, and you can use one of these pre-built templates. Now, you can take note of the new light bulb icon. So anytime you see something like this here, for example, this creative request template with new, these are workflows that generally come with pre-built AI rules. And you know that there are AI rules built into this template when you click on, for example, creative requests. And you'll then be able to see, at a glance, what is the setup of this particular workflow. And as you can see, there is an intake process via form. It comes with a form. There are some follow-ups, generates a unique ID. And as well, if you see these lightning bolts here, this is when the workflow comes pre-built with AI rules to summarize requests or even follow up with the users for any missing information. So that's a bit about Workflow Gallery, which we'll look at in a second. And the next thing is the third capability is Asana AI Studio. So what is Asana AI Studio? Asana AI Studio is a no-code builder where you can build AI-powered workflows, and it even gives you the ability to search the web for content if it's activated. With smart workflows, you can achieve outcomes like automating repetitive tasks, increase the speed of decision-making or analysis of information, and generally embedding AI into your existing work processes. And some of the examples that you can, create with AI Studio are these. So these are some, I guess, AI Studio rule templates. You can use it to automatically name tasks, translate comments, convert them into multiple languages if you needed to, check for missing information, draft a response, summarize work, automatically change due date, check for duplicates, or even summarize attachments. And yes, Asana AI Studio can read documents now with its OCR capabilities, and it can also access information in your Google Drive or SharePoint if you've got that feature turned on. So Asana AI Studio is available on all paid plans. And on the paid plans, you have some free credits. So if you're on the starter plan, you've got 50,000 free credits per month. On the advanced, you have 75,000. Enterprise and Enterprise Plus, you have 200,000 credits every month. And it just refreshes every month. If you do find yourself running out of credits, you can purchase additional credits via the Asana AI Studio Pro and Plus plans. However, you can always wait for the next month for it to be refreshed. Okay, so that is Asana AI Studio. Now, obviously, now that we've understood the three types of AI capabilities in Asana, let's dive deeper into how each of them works. And we'll start with the Smart Assist. Let me just bring my window open. Okay, so basically what we want to do is explore the concept of Smart Assist. So if you remember, Smart Assist is generally where these sparkly icons are. So at the top right, you can see Chat with Asana AI. Or if you're in Home, you can see Asana AI as a widget. If you can't see the widget, all you have to do is click Customize and drag the widget across. Asana AI can be found also within projects and tasks as well. So let me just bring up a particular task. Okay, so I am in my task, and this is our demo setup. And let's just say that, I just want to summarize a bunch of my work and report that to my manager to say, this is what I've accomplished over the last couple of weeks or months. You can use Asana Chat up the top, all right? And you can say, hey, either you can type in summarize my recent accomplishment, or you can select some of the, pre-populated prompts here. And once you've clicked that, it will go and have a look at what you've been doing and what you've completed in Asana. And it will basically summarize that into a succinct message for you. Sometimes, depending on how much you've completed in the past, it might take a few seconds. It might take a couple of minutes. So we'll let that run its course. Hopefully that should be finished in a second. Okay, great. Okay, so we can see, we've recently completed some of these tasks, including types of work. So what I might do is I'm going to copy this and put this into this particular task. So I'm just going to overwrite what I had before. Okay, and basically the other parts of Asana, I guess, AI Smart Assist, it allows you to basically look at what's in your task description. And you can see the sparkles here again. You can select it to summarize the task for you, especially if you've got a task description that is really, really long and you just want to summarize it. And you can basically look at it and say, okay, well, that looks pretty good. Or if I don't like it, I can click edit. And if I want to make an edit or not, I can add a comment in and tag my manager as well. Okay. Now, what you can also do with Smart Assist is you can actually recommend edits as well. So based on what it knows, what you have in your task description, it will basically create and recommend some edits. And through this process of editing, you can also refine the tone. Right, there's 5 options here. You can shorten the text, you can lengthen the text, you can also get it to format the text as well. So if I want to modify the tone to a casual one, so it looks a bit more friendly and not as formal, this is what we've got. So recent task completions. Hey, Eddie, or Ellen in this case, you've knocked out a bunch of important tasks lately, yada, yada. And, just a bit more uplifting kind of verbiage. And I can simply click replace. Okay. All right. Now, the other things that you can do as well is, for example, if you had a meeting and you've got some meeting recaps, I've basically put a meeting recap in here into the task description. And then what I'm going to do is, instead of just trying to recreate task or subtask manually, I can simply select the sparkles icon, and then I can get it to draft subtask. So Asana is going to have a read of your task descriptions. It's going to see what are some action items, and it's going to draft the subtask for you. And then I can simply add the subtask in here. And if you wanted to, you can click the subtask to assign a due date, a person, or even move it to another different project. Okay. All right. So that's how you can use Smart Assist within a task context. Now, the other things that you can use Smart Assist for is to view and get Asana AI to draft project summary for you. So let me just open up a example demo project. So this is a project that is basically a marketing campaign to tour Dublin. And what I want to do is I want to basically, if I'm like a project manager or I'm maybe the head of PMO, I want to see the status of this project without having to read through, all of the tasks in here. So I can simply head on to overview. Okay. And then you can see on the right-hand side here, there's already a summary here. But what I want to do is I want it to refresh the summary. And it will basically see what tasks have been completed, what tasks are blocked, what milestones have been achieved, and it will put all that into a draft project summary. And we'll give it a minute to think about its draft, and hopefully in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, -1, -2, -3. There must be a lot of tasks in here. That's why Asana is thinking really hard. All right, here we go. So here is a project summary listing milestone achievements, task completion, workshop and event preparation. And if I wanted to, and I don't want to have to come in and regenerate a summary manually all the time, I can simply click subscribe. And I can also share the summary with someone else by clicking share. Okay, so that's what you can do in terms of getting a quick high-level snapshot of what's going on in the project. Now, subsequently, you can also get Asana to draft a status report. So we can click update status and draft update with Asana. And we can say, okay, well, I think generally this project is at risk. And I want to track, any changes over the last couple of weeks. And I'd like to cover key tasks and milestones that are overdue, and I'll get it to draft it. Okay, so this particular drafting may also take a couple of minutes. And let's just give it a minute or two, hopefully not too long, and should be able to see a project status update. Now, why is this helpful? It's because as project coordinators, project managers, or leaders, we don't necessarily want to have to know the details of the project. We just want to have a high-level snapshot of where this project is tracking, whether it's on track, at risk, and also the supporting information behind it. And this is a very quick way of a project coordinator or manager to draft something. And obviously, you want to read through all of the information that Asana AI has given. And if you needed to, you can click next. And I'm going to say replace with draft because I had one previously. And once I've got this, in an actual project status update, I can then post it. So it kind of saves, whether it's minutes or a couple of hours of trying to see where things are at, and allows you to publish a status update to your managers or leaders or management as well. Okay, so that is one of the use of Smart Assist within task and also a project context. You can obviously do this at the portfolio level as well, because portfolio behaves almost like the project when it comes to Smart Assist. All right, now let's talk about the next thing, which is how to use Smart Assist in the context of projects. Now, for example, if I wanted to create a project, let's just say I wanted to create a project to manage my meetings with my manager. I'm going to come in here, I'm going to create a project, and maybe I don't like any of the templates that's available here. I'm just going to create a blank project. I'm going to say manager meetings, and I'm going to choose setup with Asana AI. Now I'm going to give it a high-level instruction of the purpose of this project, and this is to create a project to manage one-on-one meetings with my manager. I'm going to select generate preview, and Asana is going to have a look at, okay, how best to set up this project to manage meetings with my manager. And now you can see that it's created the relevant sections. It's also created the custom fields as well as the options. And I think I like what I'm seeing, so I'm going to create project. And we'll give it a second to create it. And there we go. So if you don't have a template that's readily available, you can simply instruct Asana to create a project for you. And obviously, you can then turn this into a template easily. Okay. Now, if you then wanted to design workflows, especially using AI, you can simply go to Customize, select Rules, Add Rules, and in this case, I'm going to say Create with AI Studio. Yes, you can create a standard custom rule that doesn't have any AI intelligence, but in this case, because our webinar is around Asana AI, let's create with Asana AI Studio. Now, one of the features that you may have access to is using this create icon here. So instead of you trying to create a perfect prompt for Asana to follow, what you can do is you can put in, I guess, the goal of what you want to achieve. So in this case, I'm going to say when a task is added to one of the sections, I want Asana to auto-populate all relevant custom fields. So I'm going to get Asana to design this rule for me. And it's going to have a look at the way that the project is set up. It's going to look at, the goal that I want to achieve. And hopefully it's going to show, some of the workflows that it's intending on building. Okay, so here we go. So instead of you prompting every single thing that you want Asana to do, Asana AI has actually created the prompt for you here. Okay, and if you needed it to search for the internet for content, that's what this search button is for. But in this case, I'm going to leave it off. And the rule, so every rule requires a trigger and a condition and an action. And in this case is when a task is added to this project. And the condition is to check that this task is in the meeting schedule, and then basically perform all of these tasks. So adding a comment in task using AI, set the meeting type, set preparation status, and so on and so forth. So if I'm happy with this, I'm going to click Publish Rule. Okay. And basically, I can add a task in here. Meet with manager to discuss performance. Okay. All right. So once you've added a task in here, Asana AI Studio should fire up. Depending on how complex your rules are, it can usually take a couple of minutes, seconds, but also, it can take more than a few minutes, depending on how complex it is. So you can see that I didn't do anything at all. However, Asana AI Studio has basically selected the meeting type, the progress of preparation, the follow-up, and priority level. Now, if you wanted to have a look at how Asana AI has basically, just delete the message, populated the task or the custom fields, all you have to do is open up that task, click on all activity, and Asana AI Studio will actually give you the rationale and the reasoning of what they've done. So in this case, I've added a task in here, and AI has analyzed the task. And basically, if you want to look at the actual reasoning and or how AI brain is thinking, you can select show reasoning and you can look at the rationale. Okay, it meets kind of the requirements, and so it's done, all the population. And that's what you can use to check to make sure that Asana AI is thinking the right way. And if you also wanted to have a look at the credits and how much this task or this rule is consuming, all you have to do is click Customize, Rules, find the rule that was run. Okay. And then you can click the 3 dots here or the ellipses and click on the rule history. And we can see that, this rule was run successfully and it used 508 credits. So the lowest cost credits are around a few hundred credits, but some of the complex one can take I don't know, a few thousand up to 10 to 20,000. So you just have to be very careful of, I guess, the credits that you consume, because there is a limit, especially if you're not paying for it. And the thing to take note of is in the types of AI LLMs or the models that you use. So what I mean by that is when you're creating an AI studio rule, you can actually select the settings and mainly which model that you want to use. So there's quite a lot of models here. Now, Asana only uses two LLMs for generative AI, and that is Anthropic Claude and OpenAI ChatGPT. And you can also see that based on the models or the sub-models that are presented in this list, some of them are high cost, right? Some of them are very low cost, and some are very, very high cost, like this Claude Opus 4.1. Now, some of the very high cost ones are great at, writing documents or interpreting images and whatnot and following detailed guidance. However, the cheapest ones are generally used for summarizing and classifying info. So there are some guidance on the Sana website on which models to use, but I guess the best practice is based on your scenario, try and use the lowest one first. And if you find that the low cost one is not giving you the results, then choose a slightly higher model until the point where you get the results that you want. And then you can basically publish this rule in production. Okay, so that is one cool way of using Asana AI Studio to create the Asana AI rules for you, as well as ensuring that you select the right models. Now, the other thing that you can do when it comes to using Smart Assist in a project is basically, let's just say that I have created a project brief for a project. And in this case, I'll bring up an example. So there is a project brief, and as part of, I guess, our company policy, we need to create this document called a project brief to, I guess, specify the initiative of the project. And what we want to do is we want to use this project brief to then create a project in Asana. So this project brief, it's, a couple of pages. And what we can simply do is, if we know that there is no templates in Asana that we can use, all we have to do is we can create a new project. And once again, we're going to select a blank project. And let's just say that, new project here. I will select setup with Asana. Now, instead of, telling Asana how I want to use this project, I can simply bring the PDF or any other documents, including Excels and Words. Okay. And I'm going to say, maybe just create detailed project with all tasks. I'm going to click continue. And Asana is going to have a look at the document itself. It will try and understand the document. And then hopefully, if all goes well, it will create the sections based on, I guess, the phases in the project brief. And it will also include the task and also the custom fields. So let's go ahead and create a project. And we'll just give it a while. Now, one of the ways to use Asana as well was this, while Asana AI is populating this, is if you're not sure, if you wanted to create a project brief, you can, usually we'll just go into OpenAI or ChatGPT, and we're going to basically get it to, create something for us. However, what we can also do is within the Asana AI Assist, we can also get Asana AI to create a project brief, and it can create one for you. And you even look at some of the information that you have in Asana and create the brief for you. Okay, so that's a very easy way of setting up a project within Asana, so that you don't have to worry about creating it from scratch. At least Asana is going to give you a a good starting point and a foundation. All right. Now, the other thing that you can use Asana Assist, a Smart Assist for is, let's just say that we have an existing project here, and we're not sure if we need more custom fields, but what we can do is we can go to Customize, we can go to Fields, and we're going to go Add, and you can see sparkles here again. You can click it to recommend some fields. And after, oops, Just click that and you'll analyze the project details. And let's see if it's going to suggest any fields. So it's done some suggestions. It will also look at, what are some of the global fields available in your Asana instance and, make some, recommendations on perhaps you should consider using this. So what we can do is add, and you'll add those fields to it. Okay. All right, so that is how you can use Smart Assist in the context of setting up projects or refining existing projects. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to have a look at, smart workflow galleries. So you probably saw that very quickly when I flashed it up in front of us. So if you were to create a project, a brand new project, these are all the gallery, available workflows that you can choose. So remember when I said, look out for the light bulb icon, that usually shows you that there are some AI rules pre-built into it. So once you click on it, you can have a look at, okay, well, these are, that's an intake process. We've got AI to actually summarize and follow up on missing information. And you can actually get it to organize work, automatically set due dates, and also it comes with pre-built dashboards as well. Okay, so there's quite a lot available in the galleries. So if you don't want to create one from scratch, or you're new to the creation of templates in Asana, some of the templates here can be very, very, very helpful. So I would suggest trying a few out and see if that works for you, and then customize it to suit your, your environment or your work. All right, so that is basically the smart workflow gallery. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have a look at, a real world scenario as a project manager. Okay, and we're going to focus on how Asana AI Studio is going to help to basically review information, check that it's accurate, do a follow-up to see if additional questions need to be answered by a submitter. And also what we're going to do is demonstrate a happy path versus an unhappy path. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into this project. So this project here is what we call a project or initiative intake board. And basically, project team members use this to submit initiatives or new projects to the PMO, also known as the Project Management Office, for evaluation and prioritization. Okay, so basically it is a register of requests, which will go through some checks and balances before it gets converted into a project. Okay, now basically we have a form, okay, that is used to initiate the intake process. And what I'm going to do is, before that, let me just show you the number of AI rules in here. So as you can see, there's quite a lot of AI rules built into here. One for automatic naming of the task, one for check, well, there's a couple for QA checks, and there's one for prioritization, and one for creating content. And you don't have to build Asana AI rules for everything, because obviously they come with credit consumption. So what you want to do is make sure that you use the right combination of standard custom rules, supplemented and augmented by Asana AI rules. Okay. And an example of, the naming Asana AI Studio rule when I bring it up. So the purpose of this rule is when a task is moved to a new request, I'll get AI to set the task title and then move it to a section for QA checking. All right. And these are just basically the prompts that we have here. And once again, don't forget, you can get AI to create a prompt for you if you're not sure what to do. And then you can basically refine it as you go along. Okay. Now, the other rule in here that I wanted to show you is this QA check. Now, as part of your guidance for AI, you can actually add, a document, whether it's Google or whether it's a Word document, to give it additional context and instructions. And this document itself, I'm just going to bring it up here. This document here basically provides a guidance of, the quality assurance framework that the PMO uses. And it uses these to check whether the information submitted through the form is accurate and meets these requirements. And if it doesn't pass these rules, that's when we'll send it back to the requester for additional information. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to submit 2 forms, one for the unhappy path and one for the happy path. So what I'm going to do is, my name is Bad John, john@noreply.com, noreply.com. Project name is project. I'm unsure who is the business owner. I'm going to put end date of this month. I'm unsure. Just going to put arbitrary $5,000. I'm unsure of teams. No idea. So Bad John is not providing a very good, I guess, intake form. So I highly recommend people not to submit forms using this method. But if it does, let's see what happens. So I'm going to click submit. Okay. And then you can see almost immediately, the task has been created. And then Asana AI is going to review the request and do some checks. And if this doesn't pass the QA framework, it's actually going to push it to needs more info. Whilst that is doing though, I'm going to submit another form, which is a happy path of a good submission. So I'm going to put good jane@noreply.com. So we're going to implement an Asana project management system in the business. And I'm just going to say John Doe is the owner. I want it completed by December. And let's just say the projects are currently managed in spreadsheets and emails. And we want to implement a centralized system to manage all internal projects. Rough estimate, I'm going to put 50,000. Marketing, IT, and PMO teams. There might be a dependency with an ERP project. And I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to hit submit. Okay, I'm going to close it. All right. Okay. So that form has been submitted, and now Asana AI is going to do its thing. Now, the previous form submission, you can see it's dropped to, this section, which is needs more info. Let's click on it now, and I'm just going to expand this. We can see, okay, these are all the rubbish that John entered or submitted. And if we scroll down to all activity, we can see that Asana AI Studio has triggered a number of times. And based on what it has gleaned from the lack of information, it actually has created, some additional discovery questions, which is, can you provide a more specific project name? Who could be the business owner responsible? Could you describe the specific business problem, expected benefits, or what teams? And basically, if Bad John was a user in Asana, he'll have automatically been tagged, and he'll receive a notification in Asana to respond to this. Okay, so this didn't require any kind of human to actually check it. And so this is where, the use of Asana AI Studio can actually help you to, basically ensure that information is received in the correct manner and order before you actually progress through to the next steps. Okay, now if we were to look at the other task, now the other task that was submitted had initially a different name, but because Asana AI Studio has now renamed it, and you can see that it's renamed it using the right conventions as part of the QA framework, and it's given the actual project title here. And also what you can see, it's put it down to prioritization, because this is where a human being needs to come in to do some evaluation and prioritization. But what it's done is it's actually also populated the priority field, impact, IT, type of project, and also, I guess, what strategic pillars that this project would align to. And subsequently, if you wanted to click and understand how Asana, Asana AI has given the rationing and reasoning, this is what you can select the all activity and you can look at all the details of it. Okay, so the last comment here is that, okay, well, based on its check, it knows that, this is a project, there's a summary, there's all of these other potential impacted projects to consider. And this is the information that the PMO person, I think it's James at the bottom here, would take into consideration when he's evaluating and prioritizing the project. So that is another way, that is the better way of, I guess, managing work intake so that there's less reading that you have to do. There's more thinking and strategizing that you can, I guess, allocate your brain to do, and ensures that, all work created is of the right integrity. Okay, all right. Now, I'm going to jump onto the last demo because we've got a bit more time, and then we can go into the Q&A. Okay, so the other thing is, now we've looked at the PMO, but also what if you're a creative agency and you're managing social media for someone, for a client? Now, you can also use a similar concept of, using a form to request and to request the initial, I guess, task, and then you can use AI to generate content for you. Now, I'm going to open up creative requests. Okay, and there is a form attached to it, and I'm going to basically say, okay, so we're going to create content. Okay, and I'm going to say this is for City of Mandurah, LinkedIn posts, and I'm not going to do too much here because I'm just going to put a link to their website. And we can obviously also attach assets like tone of voice, brand guidelines, and whatnot. But I'm going to click submit. And then once the form is submitted, okay, you can see there's a new form here, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to right click, okay? And I'm going to run a rule. And so there's two ways to trigger rules or AI rules in Asana. One is you can trigger it based on certain actions, or if you want to be in control of when the rule gets triggered, that's when you can set a rule to be manually triggered. And in this case, I've created a manually triggered rule. So what I'm going to do is, I want to run this rule called create copy. And this create copy would actually look at the request itself. Okay. And it's going to go onto the website because I've actually enabled the web search. It's going to have a look at the City of Mandurah's website, and it should ideally create a 300 word copy of the City of Mandurah. So whilst that is running, I've done another one here, which is for one of our clients, Meta Creative. And very, very basic request information. And once I've triggered the rule, what it's done is it's actually created this content here. So you can see that it's gone to the website, and it's got some information on when it was founded. And hopefully, if you guys are from Meta Creative, it's not too far-fetched. And it's just basically talking about their services, what makes them unique, and also including some recommended hashtags as well. And additionally, what it's done is it's actually created an email and sent it, in this case, to myself to say, hey, Eddie, there's actually a social media post for you to review, because once again, you should read and review all information generated by AI to make sure that it's accurate and it's in the right tone of voice before you actually publish it. We strongly recommend not automatically publishing things generated by AI to the internet. because, you guys would have seen in the news, courtesy of Deloitte, they got into trouble because they got AI to generate a report, and now they have to refund a portion of the $400,000 report. So please make sure that you're always checking, what AI has generated for you. Okay, so I think, let me see if this is still running. I think this is still running. Okay. Yep. But it might take a few minutes to run because it's still trolling the website. But I guess you can see from the Meta Creative one, it does create and generate content for you. So if you're in a creative agency and you're managing social media content, you can definitely use AI to create some, initial posts or content for you, but ensure that you pass it on to relevant reviewers to authorize it. Okay? All right. So City of Mandra, it's finished now, and it's created. Okay, the content here. All right. So there you go. So that's how you can use Asana AI Studio. There are many, many, many ways that you can use Asana AI to actually elevate your work and get you to work, better and faster and together as well. And yeah, more than happy to, I guess, chat to you guys about Asana AI and how you can leverage and adopt that. And I think, we have 10 or 9 minutes for Q&A. Over to you, Anissa.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Eddie. Such a powerful deep dive into Asana AI and how it can not only transform how we manage work, but how we experience it. So if anyone's got any questions, now is the perfect time to drop them into the Q&A or into the chat. I see that we've got a question from Piyush regarding AI Studio credits. And Eddie, I know you touched a little bit on being able to see the utilization of those credits within the rule, but I'm not sure if you wanted to add a little bit more in terms of how AI Studio credits work and their tiering, or if that's something you'd like to address after the session.
Yeah, I can speak to the AI Studio credits. I think I mentioned before in the demo, depending on the models, the cheaper models would consume a few hundred credits once it's triggered, and the expensive ones can cost, 10,000 credits or more. It really depends on how you've prompted the AI Studio rules, and there is no real science behind it because, unless you've trialed a few of the rules and figured out which one's good for you and whether it works for you. We can't say, there is definitely, this rule was going to cost this credits. What there is on Asana website, Asana AI Studio, in one of their help articles, I'm pretty sure there is the page that talks to how the rules actually work and what to consider when you're using it. There are also some, I guess, add-on pricing as well. And the add-on pricing is if you run out of your credits as part of your plans, which is what I've shown here. Okay, 50,000 for starter, 75K for advanced, enterprise 200K. That's when you can actually purchase the additional one. There are also, instructions or best practice on how to create some good rules. And that's, you can basically, figure out how best to write the rules here. And also one of the things to take note of is depending on how often your rules are triggered. So for example, if I've created a rule and it consumes 1,000 credits every time it's run, if the rule only runs 4 times a month, then you're not going to hit your limit. But if that rule gets triggered 10 times a day, then you're going to hit that limit very, very quickly. And once you've hit that limit, you actually won't have access to Asana AI Studio, or no rules will run until the next month when it refreshes. So hopefully that answers your question, Piyush. If not, yeah, definitely happy to jump on a call to discuss further. All right.
Okay, thanks, Eddie. I can see Victor, Amy, a couple of you are typing, and I'm not sure if that's, oh, here we go. Thank you, Mr. Sparkle. So you've been given a new name here, Eddie, for the insights. Interesting to see the AI teammate feature. That's from Victor at Meta. Definitely super excited about the teammate feature, especially here in the marketing department. What else has come through? I can see Amy typing. We'll give it another few moments or so because I think she might have a pressing question. But if not, Amy will be more than happy to chat with you offline after the session. All right. What? Still typing?
Still
No
typing?
worries. Yeah, no worries. I'm actually tempted to unmute Amy. Oh, here we go. Thanks, Amy. So question from Amy is there any way Asana AI can improve or combine answers to form entries? For example, if looking for a project rationale and there are 2 entries for problem and predicted outcome, and you'd like to combine those into one.
Okay. All right. Well, if I am interpreting your question, Amy, I'm assuming that, if we're talking about, if we went back to this particular intake board, are you saying, I think what I'm hearing is that if there are 2 entries in here and their rationale is quite similar, what you want to do, okay, we've added a few more information. So for example, taking the problem and predicted outcome and combining it into a 2-sentence rationale. I don't think Asana AI can combine the 2 tasks into one. However, I think one of the rules that you can build is if it's going to be if it's a duplicate of another task, it can put it into this duplicate check section and have a comment saying that, hey, this project seems to be providing the same benefits or rationale as this other project. Consider, combining them into one. And then obviously you'd be a human intervention needed to combine them. Did I answer your question correctly, Amy, or was that a completely
Yeah.
different question you had?
Yeah, so I was sort of just asking if it could take like 2 entries, so you could have like a problem and then obviously your expected or predicted outcome of what you want to achieve with a project, and there's 2 separate entries on the form. Could it take both of those and summarize sort of what the description of the project is, I guess? Like a 2-sentence rationale and pop it in the description? Or is Asana AI mostly only to create tasks within a project when using forms?
I think, the way that Asana is structured, all forms are used to create a task. And by that
Yep.
definition, yeah, you can submit a form to create a task. However, depending on your AI, the way you build AI, you can also get Asana to create a task or push the task somewhere else, whether it's within this board or, remove the task or push it off to another project as well. So might be worthwhile for us to, maybe jump on a separate call to have a look at, what is the specific scenario. Because it sounds simple to me, but I feel like it's slightly complex as well on your scenario.
Yeah, no, for sure. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Amy.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Amy. So just conscious of time, we're 1 minute out before 1. So just if there's no more questions today, just want to say thank you to everyone who's joined us and for taking the time. And we really hope that this session has been insightful and has sparked some ideas for you to go away and, elevate your Asana usage. And if you'd like to continue exploring how Zhamatix can support you, of course, we'd love to connect. So you can reach out to myself or Eddie. We'll drop our emails there in the chat. Or visit zhamatix.com to book a call, and we will be more than happy to chat with you. And finally, really excited to announce, and for those of you that are looking to connect with us offline and that are based in Perth, Asana is hosting their World Innovation Tour right here in the CBD on October the 22nd. So we'll share the link also in the chat, and would love to have you with us for a morning of coffee and all things Asana. So make sure you keep an eye out in the chat. Thank you very much, Soljania. She's just dropped in the link there. Please do join us. We'd love to meet you all in person for those of you that are in the country. Sorry, Piyush, unless you're planning to fly over from Dubai, we'd absolutely love that. But once again, thank you very much for joining us today, and we wish you all a productive afternoon ahead. Thank you very much. See you next time.